Hello! In today's video we're going to get into a little bit of the setup of this machine, also look at the installation of my American Rotary phase converter. I'm not going to get into detailed explanation on that because there's a lot of information out there. Also, I'm not a qualified electrician, so frankly I don't want to show you my wiring. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't think I'm the one that should be explaining that to you. But I did install the circuit and everything myself, and you might as well take a quick look at that. My electrical box is here by the entrance to the shed, but the power has to run from there to over there and through the wall. So I have to run conduit up the wall and along and around and down and through and out and back and down and Here is the generator for the three-phase. I have chosen to put it in this outer part of the shed because I don't know how loud this is going to be. So the generator is the other side of the wall, which keeps it out of the way anyway. And then the power controls are this side of the wall. Beyond the wall is the other part of the shop, which is where welding and sawing and falling over hazards takes place. Anyway, we'll look at that in a moment. And then we'll get into leveling the lathe and checking alignment of the headstock and tailstock, and also spindle runout. And then it's time to stop screwing around and actually make some parts. I've actually got requests from people for a couple of sets of parts. First of all, a set of carburetor needles, prototypes for a gentleman in Texas, and some wheel spacers for a tractor, which are already pushing the limits of this machine. I'm going to have to pull the gap out in order to machine them. Anyway, I need to get on and make those things and fulfill those obligations, and I'm excited to do them anyway. They'll be challenging projects, so those will be coming up. But for now, we just need to get this thing set up and then start looking at its capabilities for turning and making chips. All right, stay tuned. Don't touch that dial. Startup's very easy then. It's just a matter of pressing the button. And that's it. We've now got three-phase on tap for the machine. Can barely hear the generator running, and what I'll do is cut in a clip of the generator starting up in a quiet shed the other side so we can see what that's like. So there you are. It's a really quiet generator. You can't hear it at all when the machine is running. I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem to actually have it in here. It's just loud enough that when I'm trying to do something other than machining, it would become annoying. So when I get partway through a project on the machine, and I've painted myself into a corner and screwed it up, and I have to go concentrate and figure out how to get out of it, it would be nice to not have to constantly switch the generator on and off. So with this, I can leave it running because it's really not drawing a significant amount of power when everything's idling. And I prefer just to leave it running so that I don't forget to completely shut everything off before starting it up. The next part is simply power on the machine, and away we go. Right, this is the start of the procedure. So I've got my machinist level down at the headstock end, and consistency is important. So what I'm going to do is use a 1, 2, 3 block set firmly against this rail, and I will always align the level to the edge of this one. I've got a pen mark on here just to keep it in the same place each time. And what I'm going to do is move the blocks back and forth between tailstock and headstock while I adjust. Once everything's done, I'll move the level to the cross slide and just pan that up and down. But this will just save me cranking the saddle backwards and forwards. All right. So here's where we are. I'm going to now take a look at the opposite end down at the tailstock. Just see how it compares before I start. Okay, setup is the same and way off. All right, let the adjustment begin. I'll start at the headstock and then come down this end again. So that's the 4 corners set, and the bed is now straight. Final thing is to just snug down the center 2 bolts, and then we have to lock everything in and then go around and check it. And then once I've done that, I'll move the carriage up and down with the level and we'll see how it is. Good this end. That bubble is not moving. So there it is, lathe is leveled, and now it's time to move on to the next stage, which is checking headstock alignment. Fantastic. As usual, I have not prepared well enough for this. What I really need for this next test is at least a 2-inch diameter bar, 12 inches long. And this is all I've got that's substantial enough. So I'll do an initial test today, and then when I get an appropriate piece of material, I will repeat this. This will at least show whether I need to do any major adjustments to the headstock. This way. There should be a jacking screw at the back there somewhere to tweak the head alignment if needed. And hopefully it's already set up. So let's have a look. I'm going to do a clean-up cut on this first, and then I'll do a very light cut, and we're just looking at the diameter front to back, see what difference we've got. And I have to do a very light cut so as not to deflect this bar too much, and it's too small to be too accurate about it, but let's see what we got. Now that's dead on 1.408. .4077. Dead on 1.408, so it's actually 3/10. 3/10 is actually in spec. Now I'm just verifying that I've got travel both directions. Make sure that we're centered. There's center. All right. Wow. This is a 5/10 indicator, and I'm not seeing any movement, so we'll have to get another one. Right, this is the most sensitive indicator I've got. This is a millionths indicator, so 0.00005 on the graduations. So same deal. Right. Well, let's see if I can get it to 0. Okay. As far as I can tell, that's moving one graduation. Barely moving at all. That is astoundingly good. I'm happy with that. Wow. I wonder what the face runout is, just out of interest. Help if we get that out of the way, wouldn't it? All right. Again, one graduation, that's 50 millionths. That is substantially better than I thought it was going to be. Ecstatic about that. That's great. See if I can get this face on. Phenomenal. Okay, I'm going to use this Edge Technology 12-inch long test tool to look at elevation difference between headstock and tailstock. So this has ground surfaces each end, and just touch down here, check center right there. So I'm off the part. There's my 0. Don't know if you can see that. Take the glare out. Now carefully come off. I'll do that again. Right, I'm going to set up and test elevation difference between headstock and tailstock. There's the setup. I've got an Edge Technologies bar in here with ground ends. So I'm going to find center at this end, which is there. Try and set the 0. I'm hand holding the camera in order to have it travel. I've got to get proper mount set up for here. So anyway, there we are. Okay, slowly come off the edge. Carefully up on here. That says 1 thou. Let's go and check that. And now we're at, I must have had some slack in this. Oh yeah, that's loose. All right, let's try tightening that up. All right, and again. Come down, we'll come back up here. There we are. Okay, that's better. Now, got to get these measurements right. So we're just under 5/10 high. Which I understand is quite normal. Actually, you see we're not on 0 here. So we're actually a couple of tenths difference. Now, checking sideways alignment, so I'm zeroed at the headstock end. And taking great care not to bump the cross slide. Now we are just over a thou off. Now that's okay because that is adjustable. So let me get the tools to do that. Tailstock is simply adjusted by loosening off 2 lock screws at the back here and then moving the tailstock across by adjusting this screw and a similar one the other side. Just tweak these just gradually. See if I can get some footage of the DTI. Unsurprisingly, locking it down changes everything. So we'll snug these a bit and then adjust. Want everything kind of pushing against each other so that everything is locked tight. Let's see how that works for us. under 5/10. Let's see if we can tweak it a bit more. Re-zero that. Make sure it's returning to 0. Oh, well, we're there. Oh, maybe I can tweak it a little bit better. Wrong way, of course. That's the last item of setup. So with that, I declare the lathe ready to rock and roll, or better yet, make accurate parts. Yeah, lovely. Dead on. One of the reasons I got this lathe is because my old one will shake itself to bits above about 500 RPM. And its maximum speed was 1200 RPM, and honestly, it was scary going up that high. The thing was shaking all over the place. This one has a maximum speed of 2000 RPM. So I've got the gears set for that. High 1, 2000, and I've got a dollar coin on the headstock. No worries. It's a smooth machine. So there you have it. There's an overview of the setup of the new machine, how to get it dialed in and ready for use, and a bit of a look at the American Rotary phase converter installation. Needless to say, I am very happy, ecstatic actually, with the quality level that I'm finding on this machine. I think I made a very good choice here. There's some other good suppliers of these machines on the market for sure, but being able to actually go to a machinery dealer and test run the machine before laying down cash for it was a huge advantage, very reassuring, and that's paid off. This is a very accurate machine. There's a lot of let's call it hoo-ha on the internet, in the forums. Yes, you heard me, hoo-ha, about import machines versus American machines, and that's all well and good. You know, we love our American and British machinery for sure. But the truth of the matter is, I think this as a machine stacks up very, very well and is a tool room quality lathe. I'm looking forward to the next stage, which is to actually do some test cuts and see just how well it performs and see just how much material I can remove, get a feel for its rigidity and its capabilities. So that's it for today. Appreciate you following along as always. Thanks to all my new subscribers and to all my subscribers. Blows me away that anyone wants to watch what I put out there, but that's very rewarding. So thanks again. If you've just happened to find this channel, please like and subscribe, and have a very great and excellent week ahead of you, and be safe and well.